looking back over my past, thinking about my future, wondering how long it's gonna last. Thought about all of my friends and loved ones that have gone on before me. Thought about a one day we'll meet again, big anniversary somewhere in the sky, where everybody gonna be happy, preaching and praying, shouting all around. Dr. Martin Luther King, he had a dream. And all these are the people that I saw that was Sierra Franklin and Mahalia Jackson, telling Sister Roll that I thought, go and get your guitar. We're gonna have a great time with Big John Harvey from Little House you believe. He said it's hard to stumble when you're down on your knees. That was Willie Johnson.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the V Network Radio in collaboration with Doc World Radio. We're here live. Today we're going to dedicate a young man who is a living legend in the music industry, and we want to dedicate this program to his memory. And so we want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining. And once again, we're dedicating this program to Harold Sargent. And he was a legend in this music industry. And he sang with different and worked with different groups. And one of the groups that he's well known for is Wood, Brass, and Steel. And we'll hear some music from him in that particular project a little bit later in the programming. But today we have Mr. MacArthur Jackson, and also we have Dr. Brad Howard of Doc's World Radio here with us, and by phone all the way out of Florida we have Dr. Howard, Bradford Howard Jr. And also we have MacArthur Jackson, who will be coming in a little bit later into the studio, and we will be discussing about Mr. Harold Sargent. All right. Once again, we're going to go live in Florida with Dr. Brad Howard Jr. Dr. Brad, thank you for joining us.
You know, it's an honor for me. I'm another one of those young people from years ago that Harold motivated, inspired. As we said, we're talking about a true living legend who made great people out of ordinary people. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just an ordinary person, and he used to kind of talk to me about different things. Not only did he talk and inspire me to do great things, but also, I mean, he was a blessing to our church. We needed a keyboard player one time, and he wanted to give us a keyboard. He was just the type of person that didn't think about himself, but what he could do for other people. So, you know, I'm so sad to hear of his passing, but now that I'm down here in Lady Lake, Florida, I wanted to make sure that I took the time for other people to know how widespread the things he did. I mean, we have people who have moved to other places across the country, like myself, that if it wasn't for Harold, we would not be in the businesses and doing things. Look at you with the radio station, me with Doc's World. He was one that helped me into, you know, stuff and doing movies and commercials and other things. And I just could not go everybody to know just how important he was. So, representing Connecticut down here, Lady Lake, Florida, Hal, you were the greatest, and we're just all missing you so much.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Brad. Yes, he was a definitely inspiration here and all over the world with his music. And some have known him as a musician, drummer, and a producer. Fantastic individual who was willing to share information about the music industry with you. A few years I went to his studio, and I mean, he had so many different upgraded technology gadgets, and he presented those different things to me, and I was like, wow, to able to learn from a legend, and at the time I didn't know that he was a real legend at the time, and what happened was that we began to discuss about all the different groups and choirs that he worked with, and that he was helping. He helped out different churches. So I mean, he was just a man that would just give from his heart, and I looked at some of the posts on his page. So many loved him throughout the Connecticut area and throughout the country. And it's so great that we're here to dedicate with him. And also to do this dedication with all his friends. All right, Dr. Brad.
One thing that people sometimes forget, because he did so many things, he was the greatest video person ever. When you look at some of these people and you talk about the great things that other people have done on the video side, he was the one who showed them how to do that. When it came
area throughout the country, and it's so great that we're here to dedicate with him, and also to do this dedication with all his friends. All right. All right, Dr. Brad.
One thing that people sometimes talk about little legend, but we can even use a word that sounds greater than that. He was the icon of icons when it came to music.
Yes, and so at this time, I'm going to bring in a good friend. His name is MacArthur Jackson, who is a great individual in the music industry. He has a business called Jackson Recording, and he is worldwide producer, songwriter, musician, you name it. He's here with us on today. I'm going to just bring him into the studio, and he's here with us to give his dedication to Harold Sargent. And we have in the studio with us today, we have MacArthur Jackson. Thank you so much for coming in, MacArthur.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, MacArthur Jackson, you are on right now.
All right,
How
perfect.
you doing, MacArthur?
I'm doing all right. Let me tell you something a little funny off the side, though. I don't want to take too much time.
Okay.
But
no, you're
all
on time.
All the stuff that I can do. The hardest thing I had to do today, I almost couldn't save my life doing this. Putting a stamp on an envelope.
Wow.
It took me, it was crazy because I do email and I haven't done a stamp in a long time.
Okay.
But and excuse the lighting here, it's making me look real bad.
Yeah, that's okay. We're here.
But everybody can talk about Harold, and most of us gonna say the same thing: how good he is, how good he, the things, and his brother. You can't leave it because they're like a matching team. Basically, right. I didn't see them all the time together, but when you were with one, you knew that the other one was there.
That's right.
But one thing I can say is I remember when I first moved into Hartford. I met up with Harold. And I didn't know who Harold was, or let's just say I didn't know his attributes and the great things about him. And he was so humble. We were both humble in a sense. We just took each other in as friends and didn't know about our status at all in music. We were just chilling.
All right.
But here's the crazy part about it, though, is that before I moved into Hartford, and I wanted to get into music, there was this book that somebody told me I should get. I think Lance James told me I should get this book. It was called Songwriters Market or something like that. And it was connections with record labels and everything. And his studio, Love Sound Studios, was in there. And I didn't even know who they were then, but that stood out to me because they were doing something and they were from Hartford. And I said, I got to catch up with these guys. Never caught up with Love Sound, although a few years ago, Harold thinks I think Silver thought I was one of his proteges back then. Nah, dude, I was a little kid jumping over motorcycle hills and stuff. But to make a long story short, when I moved into Hartford, me and Harold, we just hung out a lot at my studio at the Colt Building, great Colt Building. And matter of fact, around that area is where I met you too.
Red BMW.
That red BMW, that blue Corvette, all that stuff, and that motorcycle.
Yes.
But yeah, that BMW was fast. But,
yes, it was.
But yeah, but I remember he used to come down, him and Victor Luna. And I don't know if y'all know, I'm sure a lot of y'all do.
Victor Luna, really?
Yeah, Victor Luna.
What?
Matter of fact, I told a friend of mine, we were talking, and I broke the news to him today because he was just telling me he wanted Harold to play drums on something in about a couple of months. And I broke the news to him today. But the thing is, he brought it up to my attention that around 94, Luna, he went to Luna's studio on Park Street. And I remember that same time, Luna and Harold were starting the studio, and they actually bought my mixing board. Because I bought a digital mixing board then. But to make a long story short, then I used to go down to his house on Oakland Terrace. Yeah. And just, I mean, he when people say Harold brought people in, and he was always there for you no matter what, and one of the humblest souls you can even imagine.
That's right.
That you can't describe Harold any better than that. That he was like an angel.
All right.
You know?
Hey, Jackson, before you continue, I got Dr. Brad Howard on. Dr. Brad Howard Jr. on.
Yes.
And he's here on the phone with us. And and you want to say hello to Dr. Brad?
Absolutely, my buddy. How you doing?
Oh, okay. All right, Dr. Brad. Here, Jackson said hello, and he hadn't talked with you in a while, but he's here with us, and he just, when I told him that you were here on the phone with us, he was like, "Wow, okay," and you know, and he's calling all the way from Florida. He's calling all the way from Florida, and he's living in Florida, and here is Dr. Brad right here. All right, Dr. Brad.
Absolutely, my buddy. How you doing?
I said, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, Jackson
yes.
was one of the people, other than a Harold, when I started doing songs like my first song, Never Too Busy, Jackson was like the biggest person to kind of inspire me, uplift me. He's my favorite musician, and every time I see him, he gets a little crazy because I have so many great things to say about him because he's so humble. The same characteristic he talked about Harold. You know, it's the humility. You know, like with Harold, the greatest thing is humility. And Jackson is following in that realm that, you know, Harold was a perfectionist. Everything had to be a certain way. You would never see him give you things any less than the best. And I think that's something great that our boy Jackson learned from him. And, you know, Harold, can you imagine a world that would not have had Harold? None of us would be in the places where we are, and the standards that we meet are so high because Harold taught us that and to keep that humility. And like I said, Jackson is a great example of Harold.
That's right. Hey, did you hear that, Jackson? He said you are a great example of Harold, you know, with your tenacity and striving for perfection, to do what you do in the music industry. And so, tell him thanks. Thanks. You know, and I got to honestly say, you know, through Christ, through my father, he's instilled it in me. But see, the thing is that you don't meet too many people like that. Harold was one of them. So, and that means a lot. And that's what the gravitation pull was that he had that kind heart. Because when I see people who have that
evil heart. It makes me want to separate from them. Right. You know what I mean? Harold had the heart that made you just say, I don't want to abuse his kindness. I just want to be around his presence.
Yeah, definitely. And so we have a lot of his friends that may be out there. And hey, if you would like to call into our call-in line, the call-in line is posted on the live feed, which is 860-461-7577. 861-461-7577 is the call-in line. You can call in and you can ask your questions if you're out there. Once again, the telephone number is 860-461-7577. We're doing a dedication to Harold Sargent in the music industry. We ask you to share this broadcast. We have with us MacArthur Jackson of Jackson Music, and also Doc World. We have Dr. Bradford Howard Jr. all the way out of Florida. They're here with this dedication to Harold Sargent. Thank you so much for joining. And Dr. Brad, as we are talking about Harold, Jackson said thank you for all of the accolades that you've given him. And he wants to say thank you so much. All right, Dr. Brad.
Yeah, but you know who's a great protege of Harold Sargent?
Who's that?
Michael. Everybody knows Michael Charles.
Yeah, Michael.
Yes.
He calls himself the Keys.
Yeah.
One of the best keyboard players ever in the world. He's a protege of Harold Sargent, and everybody knows Michael Charles Keys, man. He's strictly fabulous.
Right.
It's amazing the people that came from his tutelage, how high up the ladder each one of us have gotten. You know, the role model makes the difference.
That's right.
How's a good role model? You're just a person with some talent and some skills. But when you get somebody like a Harold who can push you and can take you to the next level,
right,
and it's nothing stopping us. And, you know, many of us other people call living legends ourselves. But if we didn't have that uplifting and that teaching from a Harold, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably just be sitting around in the house in Connecticut going nowhere.
Right. Wow. All right, Jackson. We said that Michael Childs, was one of the was inspired by Harold also in the industry. And Michael Childs, he's a success in the gospel music and also in the R&B field. And he played with a lot of different bands and different groups in around Connecticut and different areas. And so, he was a great inspiration to Michael Childs.
Michael used to be in a band together. And I know Mike, matter of fact, funny story, and I know he hates when I say this a lot, but just let me clear something first, because you probably have a lot of people listening and watching in the future. There are two Michael Childs. This one right here is the one that's over 40, is the one we're talking about.
Right.
But this Michael Childs right here, I'll never forget when I first learned, when I was learning how to play the bass, and I figured I'll hang out in Hartford, and from Marlboro, I'll hang out in Hartford and connect with people. And one day this guy brought me down to see this band. His name was Keith Montgomery. You get down there, and it's Michael Childs band playing. This is like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And I was playing this song called Just Got Paid. I couldn't play it. Michael gets the bass off. He gets off the keyboards, get the bass, and he just showed me up. That's before I got good. He showed me up bad, boy. Michael is a beast when it comes to music.
Wow.
He is definitely a genius.
I thought that he just, played bass, the keyboards, and as a keyboard man and vocalist. But,
let me tell you one thing. There's a difference, and most keyboardists, quote, will let you know this, because you got the piano, you have the organ. Okay. Yeah, the synthesizers, those are all still keyboards. And then you got what I play now, and it's the synth bass, which is still a keyboard.
Wow.
But most keyboards would say, I don't play synth, I play, organ. Or I don't play this, I play piano. Right? I'll say I don't play that, I play synth bass. They all got keys, and to the average person, they look like the same thing.
Right.
Michael plays all of them.
He plays
and not only that, but he sings, he plays drums, he plays bass. But when he goes out, you ask any good musician, what's your main instrument? Like you, Your main instrument is guitar. You know what I mean? My main is bass.
Yeah.
And that's what Michael is. His main is synth, but you wouldn't know it if you heard him play another instrument. You think that's his main instrument. Michael's nasty.
And you know, the band that he played with was Wood, Brass, and Steel, and you know, he you know, played drums, of course, and then you know.
Now you're talking about Harold now.
Yeah, Harold. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. And he played along with Hubert Powell, Terry Stringer, and during that realm, and they recorded. And you can, and anybody out there can look up the record as Wood, Brass, and Steel. Amen. And we have a picture of him that we'll be posting. Hey, we're gonna play a little bit of the music that was created from that. One of the famous songs was "Welcome to the Party" by Wood, Brass, and Steel, and that song has been played, and even until this day, people still love to hear Wood, Brass, and Steel. You know, all across the country, you know, that song has taken the world by storm. And Dr. Brad, you're here with us. You have anything you want to add?
Well, you know something else. You have another person that's locally over there with you. John Hunt was inspired by him. You know, John Hunt is a great bass player.
Yes, right.
I guess what I can say is that I give all honor and credit to such a humble man who gave so much of himself. And, you know, people forget that some of his video work went into different movies. I mean, he was so well-rounded in so many areas that, you know, we may overlook some of the things he's done because he's done so many wonderful things.
Yeah. You know, even I was just talking with him about 2 weeks ago, and he had mentioned a couple names in the quartet industry, in the quartet music industry. I'm like, wow. And then also he worked with several choirs, you know, through the South. That, you know, and I was like, wow, because I was so amazed, you know, about that. And he was at the particular time he was working with the choir, and this was 2 weeks ago, you know. So it wasn't like he just gave up the music and it was just sitting around, but he continued to inspire, you know, musicians and encourage. And then, you know, and when you meet him and when you meet up with him, you know, he always goes over all the different, you know, stories that happened to him in his life, and how he got to where where he is now, and what he's planning to do in the future, and who he's working with. I mean, he just was he was just life, you know. He was just a light, you know, to you just to sit down and just listen to him talk about his experience and what he was doing and who he worked with. And I was like, wow. And you know, and you hear of so many of the different artists that he worked with is like amazing. All right, Dr. Brad.
Yeah, well, you know something else is that not only did he work with the artists, but a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of production that he did that people don't even think about. You know, they think about him with a band, they think about him doing video, they think about other things. But he was involved in a lot of the production of many things too.
That's right.
He was probably one of the most well-rounded individuals that you could find to be in one field called music. If anything, I'd have to call him Mr. Music of our times.
That's right. That's right. Jackson, did you want to expound on what Dr. Brad was saying just now about he not only was you know, worked into the music industry, but he worked on the production side of the industry also?
Well, actually, yeah. Let me add this: is that one thing he was for is like the children. You know, that's another thing. It's not really just about him now, but he was for the children learning, the next generation, you know? And I remember sometimes, you know, he brings some guys over, you know, to the studio again, Jackson Music, when I was in the Colt building, you know, and, you know, we just chill out back in those days, you know, and just teach them how to make beats and stuff like that. But the other thing too and I don't want to blow it because I don't know what your whole format, what you got that you're going to show. But, you know, just recently I was talking to this guy, Brian Irvin.
Okay.
And he was bringing and reminding me to my attention that it's a known fact that Harold Sargent back in the day, back like in the wood, brass, and steel days, he was playing these drum beats, and it's one of the most sampled drum beats by rappers around the world.
That's right. Yeah.
But people don't know that. You know?
Yeah.
Again, he can easily say a lot of times, see, I done a lot of things, and it's things I wish I've done, but I always find myself, I'll never be a name dropper. That's not me. Right. But that's how Harold is too. You know, I see people going around, well, who you playing with? What you do? I done this. And one person from Electric Records, Michael Allegro, told me a long time ago, never talk about what you've done because you're only as good as your last hit.
That's right.
But when people can bring it up, then you can talk about it.
That's right.
And if they don't know, then guess what? Go out and make another hit. So what I'm saying is that, you know, Harold, the things he's done, I mean, one of the most sampled drum licks from a drummer living in Hartford.
Wow.
And he's not talking about it. And most people will be like, hey, you know, I've done this, I've done this.
Excellent drummer.
That's a great musician right there. One more thing I just want to add to that.
Okay.
Again, with being humble, I was always cocky when I started out. And a lot of people think I still am, but I'm nowhere where I used to be. But the thing is, one guy told me, one thing about a good musician is if you can sit in the back seat at a concert or show or whatever, and you hear the people playing, and they want you to play, and you just say, no, I'm just here to observe. That's a lot of discipline.
Right.
That's how Harold seemed to be, you know?
That's right. He was a disciplined individual. And one of the things I noticed about Harold and talking with him 2 weeks ago, he followed all the musicians and all the production folks, all the engineers behind scenes on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Because he all right, Dr. Brad, you want to add something to that?
I'm saying, in other words, he would be following us on Facebook knowing what we're doing.
Right.
I mean, here he mentored many of us, but yet he would be checking to see what we were doing. And I believe he was excited, but the world has lost one of the greatest individuals in music. There'll never be another person. And so we just have to make sure that his music stays alive and the things that he does, because he's just one in a million, and you know there'll never be another Harold Sargent.
That's right. That's right. And that's why one of the reasons why we're here tonight to do this dedication to a living legend right here in the Connecticut area and worldwide globally is Harold Sargent, a producer, writer, musician. I mean, you name it. He performed all the positions and he did them well. All right, Jackson, you have something else you want to present to our audience?
You know, it's a lot of things I can do, but one thing I want to do is say first, you know, I wouldn't say pray for the family because they know how to pray and we all are still praying for them anyway. But all I would say to the family is just stay strong. And I know because I lost my mother just a few months ago, you know, my stepmother. And not only that, but, you know, it's tough when you lose somebody that is well loved by a lot of people because you're not the only one that lost them, but we lost him too.
That's right.
But the good part about it is that, you know, he's a Christian and we know he has a better place that he's going to. But while he was on earth, he made a dent. He made a mark. He inspired people. And no matter what level the people are on, it's just being around him gave you even more inspiration. And everybody from Doug Wimbish to Noodles, all of it, no matter how big we've gotten or how little we are, we still admired and acknowledged the respect for Harold Sargent.
That's right.
And it sounds like a last statement, but I want to say that before I forget, because when you really think about it, he didn't have to do what he did. He didn't have to be there for everybody.
That's right.
You know, but he really was.
Right. You know, Yeah, definitely. All right, Dr. Brad. You're here all the way from Florida, and I know we appreciate you with this collaboration to come to our folks here in Connecticut and all different parts of the country. Um, did you have something else you wanted to present?
I would just say that I would hope that many of the people who he has inspired would continue to go forward and go on to continue to do great things. I think that things that we do for his memory will continue. We that have learned from him, if we continue to do things in the way he did, that you would do it honestly, that you would do it humbly, and that you would give your very, very best, and that you would be structured and do it just as he taught. I think that'd be my final response.
That's right. That's right. And yeah. So one of the things also we want all of our Facebook listeners to and fans and those that who knew and loved Harold Sargent to go to his Facebook page and just write a dedication, a post. To the family, because when they see these different posts and dedications, it really helps the family, during this difficult time, and continue praying, as Jackson said, continue praying for the family, because we know that that so much is happening all the way around us, but we got to continue steadfast in prayer. And so one of the messages that I preached on tonight on HOD World Radio Network is that through this, all these different difficult times, don't lose your faith. Continue keeping the faith in Jesus
Amen.
Christ. Keep your focus, and a lot of times people stop keeping their focus on their goals and objectives and things. They say, well, I can't make it, things are happening all the way around me, but don't give up the fight. Amen. Just continue in the faith and continue working. Those that are in the music industry, continue. Listen, we said this the other day. This is the best time in the world to create your project, create your music, and get it out there so people can listen to who you are, your music. This is a great time to do this. Don't stop creating. And I know you guys are going to touch on a little bit of that too, because you guys are always creating some music, working on some sort of project in the music industry. And I'm going to let Dr. Brad give us a little taste.
Basically, I guess to show something, everybody knew me as a nobody in music, but from Harold, I wound up being a producer, a promoter.
All right.
I probably managed various different groups, promote. I own a radio station down here in Florida, and I also have a couple of TV shows.
Wow.
And sometimes one person inspires you. You never know what we have inside of ourselves. And so I guess just the fact that he kind of patted me on the back and stuff, I've gone on to do things that I never thought I could do. And that's what the memory should be, is that everybody can do something, but everybody doesn't have a Harold Sargent. But when you can have somebody like that, then some of us that are moving up the ladder, we need to be like he did and allow other people to come in and get their skills developed. So I guess the memory I have from him is what he did for me, I should do for others. And I mean, I'm even trying to sing now. and where before I used to just back up Dennis Gravy. Now I'm doing my own song. So people like him get you to the point that it's almost like you can do all things through Christ. He was the person that can kind of get you in the place that once you get that faith and all that confidence, he was like the one that kind of helped start you out, like you put a key in ignition. And I'm just so thankful for what he did for me.
That's right. That's right. All right. We got MacArthur Jackson. So basically, Dr. Brad was giving his take on his experience and how he basically got into the music because of the inspiration from Harold Sargent. And Jackson, you want to have some words before we do this dedication with Harold Sargent music?
Yeah. Well, basically, it's funny because I'm at my satellite studio and I got my little synthesizers and stuff here. And the thing is that, like you said, we're always doing music. And that's one thing that is great about when you're a musician and you love what you do, you really want to do it to the very end.
That's right.
No matter what. So when a lot of people can't relate and understand to us as musicians, but the good part about it is that we know and God knows us and how we are, and we wouldn't be happy if we owed $500,000 in debt for the rest of our lives. I think the only thing that could really make us happy is if we just have something to play, even if it's pots and pans,
Right. Yeah.
So, make a long story short, there's really nothing I can say. I mean, it's just been a rough 2020. It's been a rough 2020, but you know what? You can't say it's going to get better.
That's right.
You can't say it's going to get worse because we don't know.
That's right.
But as long as we can keep on pushing on,
that's it.
It's gonna pass through. We do know that. So the bottom line is, all we can do is just appreciate the people who are here now. And that's another hard thing, because I was just saying this about a month ago to somebody. Who do you know who to visit? You don't know when their last time is up. You can't visit everybody. So you just got to keep on loving everybody. And it's no time for hatred. Like Mary J said, no time for drama. No more drama. It's you got to love. You got to love. You got to love, because you don't know when your last day is or when their last day is.
Yeah, and so we have people that have just joined us, and if you've just joined us, we're talking about the man himself, the living legend in the music industry. And we're talking about Mr. Harold Sargent, who just passed a few days back. He had a group called Wood, Brass, and Steel back in the day, and we're just doing a dedication to him for his music and for what he has done for other musicians and has inspired other musicians. And I want you all to do me a favor, go to his Facebook page, Harold Sargent. And those of you that didn't know, his brother is Silver Sargent, who worked with the Backstreet Boys and so many other famous artists.
Huh? New Kids on the Block.
New Kids. Yep. New Kids on the Block. That's one of the groups that he New Kids on the Block, and so many other different artists I know he worked with, and locally and far.
And and one more thing too.
I knew you were gonna add some more to it.
I know, but this is good because we were talking about Harold for the kids.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, Silver and Linda, they have this massive daycare on Silver Lane in East Hartford where they're teaching kids,
Right.
So I mean, it's like not only are they into music, but they're really for the next generation. That's what it's all about, really.
Right. I had sent Silver Sargent a message, and I was hoping that he would be on to come in to chime in and to call in, for the dedication. Hey, if anybody out there would like to, before we do our final dedication to Harold Sargent, that would like to call in and, present your dedication to Harold Sargent, the number is listed above, 860-461-7577, 860-461-7577. And hopefully we may be able to do this again and just, let folks know that, that we're going to continue and just do another dedication, because we want to hear from some of the others. But I was reading some of the posts out there, some of the posts from the Powell family. Hubert Powell, he was a part of, and that's Pastor Hubert Powell. He was part of that band back in the day of Wood, Brass, and Steel.
I think they're cousins.
Yep, and they're cousins, of course. They're cousins, and I noticed some of his sons, Billy Powell and Kevin Powell and Doobie Powell, some of the well-known in the contemporary gospel music field. They chimed in on it. I think it was Kevin said, or Billy said that he gave one of his sons this first drum set or something of that nature, and I was like, wow, So you're looking at generation to generation to generation. His music, his inspiration is going to flow from to everyone, so definitely I appreciate that. So many out there joining us with this dedication. Hey, we're gonna listen to a little bit of music from Harold Sargent as a dedication. One of his well-known songs by Wood, Brass, and Steel. And it's entitled "Welcome to the Party," and I'm telling you, we're doing it here at the Vnetwork Radio and Doc World's Radio, and we are bringing to you a dedication to the living legend Harold Sargent right here on the Vnetwork Radio, and we're so glad to have you all join us. And here is some music by Wood, Brass, and Steel.
Right, shouldn't fight, the groove is right, dance all night, the feeling's right, shouldn't fight, the groove is right, dance all night.
All right. This is a dedication to Mr. Harold Sargent, right here, a living legend in the Connecticut area. And we're so happy that everyone has tuned in to join us. And we want to thank MacArthur Jackson. We want to thank so many Dr. Brad Howard and Doc's World Radio, nationwide, globally. I want to thank them too for joining us to do this dedication to Mr. Harold Sargent. Thank you all. I'm gonna give you guys the final word. If you have anything that you would like to say, the final word, and we're gonna close out this evening. All right, Dr. Brad.
Yes, my final remark, I thank God for his life, and I'm going to be honoring him down here in Florida, where my Doc World radio station will be honoring him all this weekend, and then from my TV show, Doc's Place out of Texas, will be honoring him also. So we're going to continue this on through the weekend, just so that other people can get the opportunity to say whatever they want to do. But we're just hoping that he's somebody that unifies people in music, and that maybe we as people can unify ourselves together. So I thank you, John, for collaborating with me on this project that we could say goodbye to a great man, and I'm just happy to be able to say whatever I could this evening. And thank you so much, Don.
And thank you so much, Dr. Brad Howard, all the way out of Florida, Dr. Brad Howard Jr., and he has a radio station, Doc's World Music. And I just want to acknowledge before Jackson comes back, MacArthur Jackson comes back from Jackson Music, we have Jerome Bird, and we have Silver Sargent, we have his granddaughters, and the family checking in. All right. Thank you so much, family, for checking in. That's here with us. The family is here with us, checking in. And also, let's see. We thank you from Enefi Sargent, Patricia Woods, Bird, the family of Harold Sargent. Thank you so much, the family of Harold Sargent. We was hoping that you could call in, to say something or representative. We wanted you all to know that we love you and that we'll continue praying for the family during this time. And we're going to continue to dedicate our music to Harold Sargent because he has been a blessing to us. Musicians all over, so we're just here, in the dedication. At MacArthur, we're gonna have your final words, and we're gonna continue on playing some more music by Wood, Brass, and Steel by Harold Sargent. All right.
Right. Okay. Well, basically, can you give that number?
Yes, the number again is 860-461-7577.
Okay, good. Just in case.
461-7577. 860-461-7577. And we have the line right here. And if you call in, the number is posted on the video page that we're presenting right now, 860-461-7577. And I think we got a caller coming in, and Lakia is setting it up for us now. And we have so many people calling in, giving their dedication to Harold Sargent, and we're gonna have them come in shortly.
Would you like to talk to Pastor D. Padgett?
And
okay, one moment.
all right, and so
Yeah,
you
let
set
them
it up
talk.
for me. Okay, we have his daughter on the line, Patricia, and on the daughter on the line, and we hear. Okay, get the volume up. Oh, hello, Patricia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. We have his daughter on, Patricia, and we're doing the dedication to Harold Sargent, your father. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for just what you're doing right now. My dad was a great person.
Yes, he was, and he touched a lot of musicians. And a lot of musicians came on this morning, and they were asking about about Harold, and so I told them that me and Doc, all the way out from Florida, Doc Worlds of Music, we said, well, what better chance that we have is to do a dedication tonight and just continue the dedication throughout the weekend.
Yeah, we appreciate it. He was not just a great musician.
Yes.
But he also was a spiritual leader to a lot of people as well.
Yes, he was.
So he not just gave you the music, but he also gave you the word to go with it.
That's right.
To guide you in the right place. He was a common factor in a lot of people, and especially in my life. He married my mom when I was 5 years old, and he was just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's going to be greatly missed. I know it's still fresh for us because some of us still haven't had a chance to grieve yet.
Yes.
But thank you for doing this. This will bless my mom, who's grieving of a husband she was with for 52 years. And to see all this love coming out for him will brighten her day and help her, because she's really, really suffering and grieving for the love of her life. But when I can tell her what we just saw and what we just heard,
yes,
her spirit will fly.
Yes.
Because he was a light,
mm-hmm.
you know, and his light has not burned out. He may have been called home by the Father, but his light is still going through the things that you guys are doing now, the post, the gratitude, the lifting up, and he deserves it.
Yes, yes.
You deserve it. And I thank everyone who called in, and I thank you for what you have done for not just my family, but his family in Ohio, his daughter Adrian, his son Mark, his son Eric, his son Harold Jr., and the grandkids in Ohio, and great-grandkids who will have his legacy for the rest of their lives, for a great man. And I give you props, and I thank you very much. And I lift up everyone who has called in and who haven't called in and just loved him. I thank all of you. It helps us as well. It helps our grieving not be so hard, because we see how much he was loved all around the world. I didn't know this. You guys are opening up our eyes as well, too.
Yes.
He is known to the world.
Yes.
And we didn't know that. So thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, you're welcome. And we have Dr. Brad all the way from Florida that's here with us, and he wants to say something. Okay, Dr. Brad, you would like to say something?
Yeah, Patricia.
Yes.
I'm one of the persons that he mentioned. I'm originally from Connecticut, but I'm out here in Florida, and we're going to make sure that he's honored well. I'm not in Connecticut for COVID-19. I'm stuck down here in Florida, but we're going to make sure that I have a station also that goes across the world. We'll be honoring him all this weekend and going forward, and we will make sure that if there's anything we can do from you here in Florida or from my station with people going across the world, you can contact me through Donald, and we will be glad to assist you from Florida. How's that?
All right. Thank you very much. I will let my mom know, okay? We really appreciate what you guys are doing for him. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Quite welcome. You're quite welcome. If we can do more, we'll do more.
Thank you very much. And if anyone needs to contact, you can reach me through my home number is area code 860-525-1274. You can reach my daughter through her cell phone 860-840-4513. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much. And we have MacArthur Jackson. Did you want to say something to his daughter, MacArthur Jackson?
Yeah, Patricia. The only thing I can really say is just
okay. All right.
Remember, we love him.
And, MacArthur's talking, and you could continue to listen in to the program. And we'll be praying for you all, okay?
Bless you guys.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we loved Harold a lot.
Yes.
So that right there, what we're doing is only what people would do when they love somebody.
That's
you
right.
know? And so basically, don't expect anything less from us. He was a great man. He inspired us, and that's what it's all about.
That's right.
I mean, you can't say anything else. Right now, just like Jackie McLean, on the same level, you know, he inspired a lot of people too. So it doesn't end here. It doesn't end next week. You know, it doesn't end next year. 5-6 years from now, people are still going to be talking about Harold and thinking about different things that he's done to help somebody get to this level, or the drum patterns that he made, or They might even have a drum library that they come out with his drum beats and things like that. I mean,
right.
It's sometimes you just don't realize how people can affect other people because you're with them so close. You take it for granted. And the same thing with Silver too. Don't leave him out. That's his brother. They're tight.
That's
same
right.
thing with Silver. It's the same thing. God bless that we still have him around, but it's the same thing. People are inspired by Silver Sargent too. And like you said, he's done a lot of things and they're great things. And all we can do is just inspire. But the most important thing, and I had to gravitate to this, but I got older to it, is that when you're thinking about the next generation and what you can pass on, we don't live forever.
That's right.
But it's this one song I wrote a long time ago called Born a Black Man, Die a Black Man. And in the background, it chants. It says, you can kill my body, but you can't kill my soul. You can kill my body, but I'll come back strong. And it's self-explanatory, but basically what it means is this is just a shell. But what's inside that comes out, that will live forever. Like Dr. Martin Luther King. They say he was assassinated. He's dead and gone. Jesus Christ, he's dead and gone. Nah, his words and his whole epiphany of him still exists through us. And that never dies.
That's right.
When it's a good message. And it's the same thing with Harold. Just keeps on going. So let that cry out if you have to, because that's just part of the healing process right there. But you got the memory.
Yeah, so I just want to take this opportunity to thank Jerome Bird, Silver Sargent, his granddaughters and family checking in, and his daughter and the family checking in. Thank you so much for checking in from the family. I know we sent out the message, and we're so glad that the message got out that we were doing this, and you can be a part of this. And I'm hoping that we could come back maybe the weekend, do something, as a dedication to Harold Sargent right here on the Vnetwork Radio. And definitely we appreciate everyone participating, and please share this program to your friends, family, relatives. Let them know that we do love Harold Sargent and the family. We do love them, and we'll continue praying for them. All right. With that is being said, I want to play this last video, and God bless you all, and let's continue praying for one another. All right. All right. God bless you all.
Most men go through a whole lot of concealed fear, and it causes them to be violent. Some men go through what we call domestic abdication. It's when we leave our home simply because we have not recognized and accepted and admitted that we have a problem. You can't quit, man. Stand up and be a man. I can't quit, no way. 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 Living in the dark sometimes, don't know what to do now. Still trying to make it, pull our way through. I can't quit, no way. I can't quit, no way. I can't quit, no way. No, no. I can't quit, no way. Don't you move from that. You will be alright. Hold your head up, man. I can't quit, tired, don't know what to do. Really nowhere to go. Lord have mercy on you. Lord have mercy. You gon' be alright, alright. Just watch and see. He gon' pull you up off from your knees. I can't go no way. I can't quit no way. I can't run no way. I can't go no way. You a strong man. Let me tell you, as a man, you gotta be able to stand up and be strong. You cannot take your imperfections and put them on your friends and your families and your children. You gotta stand up and be strong, man. You can do it. You able to do it. You able to do it. At your leisure time, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to tell yourself, I'm a strong man. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.